Hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome back to Get Your Play Online. We are live for your 7 p.m. bedtime story. And if you guys saw the caption for this video, you know that I said you guys should cuddle up with your pet for this one. And that is because for our bedtime story tonight, Wednesday night at 7 p.m., we are reading a story about a friend right here, a furry friend named Bosco. This story is so cool. I had never read this one before, but this dog right here is a hero. So we're going to read this story and we're going to find out why this little dog right here is a hero. This story is called Koli and Bosco, the dog, Rescue from the Fire. The author of this story, I know there's a bit of a glare there. The author of this story is Sharon Attipoe-Dorcoo. Don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but that's our author, and that means that that is who wrote this story. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and read about Koli and Bosco the dog. Rescue from the fire. So let's open up our story. Okay, and already here on our first page, we see our main characters. Looks like they're sitting maybe in a forest or a field under a big green tree. We see the dog named Bosco and its owner named Coley. So let's read our first page right here. Once upon a time, in a faraway land called Wiggletown, lived an old woman named Coley and her most beloved pet, Bosco the dog. Coley was a short, skinny woman who loved to wear blue dresses and green hats. She had a beautiful smile and was always happy to spend all of her time with Bosco the dog. Bosco the dog was a big, furry, brown and black German shepherd who had a loud bark and loved to run around in the yard with the kids in Wiggletown. And his favorite person was Coley. So there they are again. You see them there. That's so sweet. Coley and Bosco the dog lived in a house close to the woods where they would spend their days walking through the green fields and enjoying afternoon teas with butter biscuits. Yum! They were always together, and Coley was always seen reading to Bosco the dog every evening before sundown. Friends, do you guys ever read to your pets at home? I have a dog named Ace who I tried to get to join me during story time so you guys could meet him, but he would not come upstairs. But I've tried to read to him before, and I don't know if he really listens, but maybe he likes just hearing a nice voice. So here we see Coley. It looks like she's holding, might be difficult to see, but it looks like she's holding a purple book and she's reading to Bosco. And they are looking at each other's eyes. They are looking into each other's eyes. They are listening, or Bosco is listening to Coley read the story. Next page. Now we have a different illustration, a different picture. It looks like maybe bedtime or they're waking up. Cool. Bosco the dog was the most treasured companion in the whole world to Coley, who woke up every morning happy to see her beloved friend. Bosco the dog was always ready and eager to go out and play. He woke Coley up in the morning with a cheerful bark and a wet lick on the face, which she gladly responded to with a smile that straightened her slightly crooked lips. That's sweet. They went for walks, gazed at the chirping birds, and then returned to enjoy a hearty breakfast that Coley always prepared for two. Their favorite breakfast was pancakes and fried eggs, which they washed down with a big cup of apple juice. Yum. After breakfast, Bosco the dog was seen helping Koli with her chores as she cleaned their house, watered the plants, and made their lunch. They would always take a nap together and awake to enjoy lunch together. They typically had fried plantains with rice and stew for lunch. That sounds delicious. So there they are walking, taking their morning walk. Koli and the dog. Afterward, Koli was seen reading on her porch with Bosco the dog curled at her feet and both of them enjoying each other's company. Around mid-afternoon, Koli made them both some tea with biscuits and continued reading on her porch with Bosco the dog. Koli would pet her dog happily while they watched the sunset after a fun-filled day. What do you guys see in this picture? Oh, this way. There you go. What do you guys see in that picture? I see Koli in a rocking chair on a porch, and I see Bosco the dog looking sleepy, curled up in a little ball. A few hours later, she took Bosco for another walk before returning to make them dinner. It was usually some chicken soup and yams. They enjoyed their dinner at the table together and watched some television until bedtime, when Bosco the dog would snuggle at the foot of the bed after licking Koli on the face to wish her good night. This was always the lifestyle of Koli and Bosco the dog until one day, when this pair were bound to be thrown into a world of adventure they would remember for the rest of their lives. What do you guys think is going to happen? Remember, going back to our cover, Koli and Bosco the dog rescue from the fire. So maybe a world of adventure, which is what it said right here, is talking about the fire. Let's find out. On one of their regular morning walks, Koli and Bosco the dog went by a house and saw smoke rising out of the house. They were big, dark, round puffs of smoke coming out of the house. Bosco the dog, upon seeing this, started barking wildly to draw attention. Some neighbors who heard the loud barking came out to see what all the noise was about. They came out and saw the smoke, and most of them rushed toward the house together with Koli and Bosco. A man rushed out of the burning house and asked someone to call 911. One of the neighbors called 911. The man then rushed back, saying he had to go back into the house to help his family. Oh my goodness, this is an emergency. There's the big puffs of smoke coming out of the windows. And then there's even these lines right here to show you that Bosco is barking so loud. Man, the smoke had risen higher and was now big, dark circles rising into the sky. Koli suggested that Bosco the dog stand at the entrance and bark to lead the family out of the burning house. The man agreed and rushed back into the house. They're trying to make sure that the family can get out safely while they wait for the fire department. Bosco the dog at this time ran up to the entrance and continued barking very loudly. A few other neighbors tried to get in to help the man bring out the rest of the family. One of them could be heard yelling for them to stay calm and cover themselves with a wet blanket so they would not get burned. In about what seemed to be ages, the few neighbors that went in came out with two kids who looked very frightened. Oh. The fire department drove up a few minutes later as people were waiting for the man to make it out with his wife. So there's some kids, and it looks like neighbors helping him out. And can you spy Bosco? Where is he standing? And what's he doing? Remember, everybody, he's barking to help the family know where to leave the house. He's barking to say, "Come outside." He's helping everybody. Bosco the dog was continually barking in order to direct the family to the exit more easily. As the fire rescue man began to get ready to go into the building, the man and his wife emerged, much to the delight of everyone else. Whew! That means that everyone made it out of the fire safely. Thank goodness. The firemen went straight to work on checking on the family and putting out the fire to rescue what was left of the building. Everyone stood by and watched the firemen work, and the ambulance took the family to the hospital. As things died down, everyone turned to Bosco the dog and patted him for his good work done. That brought a smile to Koli's face as she was so proud of her baby for being brave and helping out the family in need. Bosco was such a big help. There's your picture. The firemen are at, or the firemen are at hard at work trying to help the family, making sure they get what they need. And everybody's proud of Bosco for how he helped. All right, here's our last picture. Let you look at it. Now let's read. The mayor of the town heard about Bosco's heroic act and was pleased to award Bosco a plaque shaped like a bone. Right there. Koli took her best friend, Bosco the dog, to the event proudly. The pair beamed with smiles as they posed for a photograph in the local newspaper. Yeah, they are smiling. Look at Bosco's white teeth. Koli and her best friend Bosco the dog lived together happily ever after in their lovely home in the happy community of Wiggletown, wondering which adventures were coming their way next. The end. Oh man, what a great story, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed reading about Koli and Bosco the dog and their rescue from the fire. They really did help their neighbors get out of the house safely when it was burning to make sure that everyone was okay. I'm so glad that I got to read another story to all of you guys. I will be back not next week, but the week after, and I can't wait to read another story to you guys. Until then, cuddle up with those pets. You know they're the goodest boys and girls, and give them good cuddles and have a great night's rest tonight, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Bye.